Howdy, folks. Welcome to the Walking Dead podcast with BTMReview.com. I'm Aaron, and Todd and Pat.
AKA Riverman here. Thank God it's over.
You know, I don't know. I was really looking forward to this episode, the finale called Conquer. I don't know. I know it's kind of jumping the gun, but it just didn't. It didn't deliver. Like I was telling you guys before we started, I liked where they were going with everything. I liked the direction they were heading. We just never got there on any of the points. It was a big cock tease in every direction.
And after the episode, I'm really anticipating your score again this week because I think I said the same thing last week at the beginning of the episode, but this one I'm just like, okay, this is a season finale. This is where it should be a 10 out of 10, but
it should be, and it wasn't.
Okay, I'm anticipating what you're gonna have to say about it. So
no, and you want to get into that argument again, fuckface?
No,
we'll do it.
I know. I'm just curious, man. I'm curious.
Well, you know, now that the finale isn't going to be a 10 out of 10, I'm glad I gave the episodes I did the scores I did, because now it's looking a little more accurate. Yeah, I would have had egg on my face if this one was, like, amazing. But, no, basically, it was fairly predictable, pretty run-of-the-mill. I mean, even everything down to the intro scene, like, I just knew it was going to start with Daryl in the woods again. I mean, I just kind of knew the pacing it was going to take. We got teased with Morgan, like the very first scene. He got, I guess, approached by one of the wolves, even though they haven't yet to name drop their actual establishment name, in the woods. And it turns out Morgan is the legend of Kung Fu.
And he must be taking his medication too, because he's not insane anymore.
No,
yeah, he's off the crazy train, and now he's Kane. He's just wandering the earth.
Yeah, and he's fucking knows his shit, and he's got that whole Clint Eastwood vibe, like. Kind of like I don't want no trouble, basically, AKA you don't want to fuck with this. Just walk on. I'm giving you a fair chance. And he's got his bow staff, and he's just kicking ass and taking names. And he's doing that cool, like old school Bloodsport thing where he's not even making eye contact, like he's blind, like working off his intuitions. It's cool.
Well, that was cool. That was pretty entertaining. That was probably one of the highlights of the episode.
It was cool, and you know what? It'll fly with me because we never really knew that much about Morgan. He could be a black belt, you know. Yeah. He could have all those skills. So we got teased with him, and we didn't see him again until the very, very last millisecond of the episode. So that was a big cock tease. I thought they introduced him at the first scene, and I thought he was going to be a little bit more integrated, and he wasn't. And
well, he was in other parts where he saved Daryl and
he rescued Daryl and that, yeah.
He's there to be the new moral compass of the show, from the looks of it, because as we saw from the tribunal or whatever they were having about what to do with Rick, what transpired there, Deanna has come over to Rick's side. So when Rick did what he did, Morgan spends the the better part of the few lines that he has, explaining that all life is precious, doesn't kill the wolves. When asked why he helped Aaron and Daryl, that's what he said. So it seems like they're setting him up kind of to be the new voice, him and Maggie especially too.
Ugh.
Well, and you're right, because when he bow staffed the hell out of those two wolf members, didn't he like honk? Was he honking? I mean, I guess he wasn't honking for walkers. Do you think he was honking for his comrades? Like, hey, come collect your bodies here. What do you think? I guess I don't know. Because he didn't kill him. I guess if he wanted to kill him, he could have killed him.
I thought he was honking for walkers to come and kill him, but
well, why would he leave him? I don't know.
I don't know. He'd feel guilty if he killed him. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he just seems like that type. Like, take all my stuff, take everything you need. I just don't want no trouble. Knowing that he could kick their ass and lay them out. That sounds like the peaceful type of guy. That Kane, as you were saying.
Snatch the rock from my hand.
and who knows what the hell happened within the 2 seasons of him not being on the show.
No, I mean,
he found his peace with God.
It's all right. In about another 3 seasons, we'll get his backstory.
Just like Lieutenant Dan.
I was gonna say, Pat, you're right. I was like, River, give us a few episodes into season 6, and we'll have an episode totally devoted to his backstory and what was going on, like a little montage episode. Yeah. We'll find out. I mean, there's really not a whole lot to talk about as far as the meat of this episode. It just kind of progressed towards what we knew was going to happen. Rick was on lockdown with Michonne on watch, and there was the big thing about is Michonne with them or against them? he told her the truth. She's totally for him, which honestly, I didn't think she was going to be for him.
No,
I don't know.
I didn't
fuck.
either.
And there was the whole Carol thing. Carol was the highlight of the episode yet again. Just her character.
I think she is absolutely masterfully played that character this year. I can't remember that woman's name, but I think she is just fantastic.
Melissa McBride. You know, it was that whole thing. Okay, when they all meet him when he wakes up, when he's on lockdown with Michonne, she is not owning up to it. She says something effective. Why did you take that gun? You know, even though she was fucking behind most. There's other guns out there. But then when she's having that little one-on-one with him afterwards, she literally is playing that part like the devil on Rick's shoulder. Yeah. You know, it's so funny. Like, she's trying to get it. You know, I mean, she's clearly on his side, but she's almost manipulative. Like, if she wanted to be bad and get her way, she could.
But, I mean, yet she's the smartest on the show. She's even smarter than Rick. She doesn't go off the handle.
No,
like
well, I think she's capable. I just think she's a pretty good stilt for him, and likewise. He's kind of rattly at the moment, and she's kind of keeping him on level ground. I think he would do the same for her. I think they're really a good balance for each other.
And she's had a little more experience kind of playing the dual roles in her, you know, in her previous life as being the battered woman, pretending that everything's okay on a superficial level while inside they're not, obviously. So sorry to interrupt, but
no, I mean, I guess I kind of thought maybe the episode could have gone like a To Killing Mockingbird like direction, like they're on trial and then Morgan shows up with Daryl at the right moment. He takes the stand. Rick's a good man. I knew him 3 years ago.
We kind of knew that as soon as you saw that the gate was left open by Father Jeremiah and that there was a blood trail, like, all right, you either assume that Glenn made it back, which you learned that didn't happen. Then immediately you're like, okay, zombies came in. Then Rick kills the zombies, and then immediately, even by the angle of Deanna standing with her back to that open gate, you knew exactly where Rick was going to come from. And sure enough, there it is.
Speaking of Bible references, he turns the other cheek with that guy that tries to shoot him. Well, he shot him in the arm, but he didn't kill him. But
Glenn kicks the shit out of him,
which was fucking ridiculous because Glenn should have died twice there and nothing happened.
It looked like it's like they were finally going to do him in, but I mean they're not going to waste.
How the fuck does he get out? I knew as soon as they faded it to black, he wasn't dead.
Well, yeah, they're not going to waste a big character like him without an on-screen death. They're not going to have him just show up as a zombie like Merle. But I was kind of hoping they would at least. But yeah, we never know how he gets out of these sticky situations. He should have been dead. They never explained. That was a bit of a plot hole how he got out of that revolving door in that one episode. He just kind of appeared back at the van, you know?
Uses his ninja skills.
They just, you know, he has all those moments.
Is that an Asian joke?
No.
Oh.
He has a lucky monkey's paw.
I'm sorry. I just inferred racism.
Everything goes back to race with you.
I move that we refer to Sasha as Black Andrea from now on.
That's right.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same thing. All of a sudden, I mean, she's crazy. Now she's going to church, and now she was almost going to kill him, but now we're praying, so we're good now. We're good.
That's right.
When are my Jewish brothers going to get represented on the show? I demand. I'm not Jewish. I'm not Jewish in the slightest.
Part of the tribe.
No. Well, yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Father Gabriel for a second. Fuck that character fuck that character with Morgan's big stick, because I don't get it. I get it. He's guilty. I don't know why he's acting the way he is. I don't know.
Obviously, there's supposed to be some symbolic redemption, obviously, with Maggie's character, too, being the one that comes and finds him and puts her hand down, and now she's going to be the great arbitrator, or, you know, all from one fucking episode where he offers up help and she blows him off. Are we then, I mean, based on how they actually wrote this all, we're just to kind of assume, more or less, that because he blew her off, then he goes nuts, almost sells them all out to Andrea and gets them all thrown out of there, or attempts to anyways. And then in an absolute moment of panic, and as he is rescinding his faith, all of a sudden Maggie shows back up, offers him empathy and humanity, and then all is well.
They're joining hands and they're restored. And
is that that's the story that they're telling with the writing that they're giving us, which is just it's
I just think his character needs to be for more. And I at least he could have died. Nobody fucking died in this episode except for the abusive husband, which was cool. But
you forgot about Deanna's husband.
that's what's abusive. Oh, Deanna's husband. Oh yeah, that was so quick. You're right. But those are not big deaths.
The abusive husband dies.
It's two minuscule deaths nobody gives a fuck about.
Two minuscule deaths.
I honestly could not believe they didn't kill a main character in this. They must be saving him. They must be saving it, or I don't know what the fuck. We're just gonna sit there and end this goddamn thing with 20 fucking people.
No, we gotta have the premiere.
This motherfucker. This fucking thing's going longer than F Troop, but I think F Troop went for like 40 seasons.
At least fucking F Troop had Michael Landon. For God's sakes, give some eye candy. No, look, I'm saying,
folks,
where the fuck is Alan?
Aaron is not 63. He is not.
Where the fuck is Alan Alda, the comic relief in this damn show?
I'll take him.
No, but like I just know that season 6 is going to premiere, and I'm hopefully they're going to at least start this new season with what should have ended this season, and they're going to just get right into the action. The wolves are going to infiltrate, and all these fucking people are going to die in the first episode.
You have to have some sort of encounter
too many
with
characters.
them.
But it was
based off of.
It's blatantly obvious what the wolves are going to do. I mean, they're going to back the trucks into the fucking town. They're going to let the zombies loose. I mean, it's obvious what they're doing here.
Yeah, they had Morgan's. Why would Morgan just leave those pictures behind of Rick and Carl? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, we figure he's smart at this point. That just seems like it was just completely just done just to be done, just so they could have a connection between the wolves looking for Rick or trying to find the town. It just seemed it would be just as believable if they just happened upon the town. Same fucking thing.
Yeah, clues.
Actually more believable because it wouldn't just seem like it was purposefully done. Like, oh shit, we gotta connect the dots with a fucking crayon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Why does it got to be pictures of Rick? It's like, some assholes let the walkers out, and one of them dropped a bunch of child porn on the ground.
With Carl.
We got standards.
It's the Carl rapist brother coming out for revenge. Oh, I'm gonna get Carl this time.
We didn't see Carl's little love interest in this episode. We didn't see Carl very much in this episode, actually. Period. He was just the babysitter. Which, by the way, I was kind of curious if the things did hit the fan. And Andrew Lincoln, Rick was talking about, if they don't cooperate, then we're going to take them out. We're going to take the place basically. We're going to take the armory. So. Was he that confident that a shitstorm wasn't? I mean, I guess he was, that this whole town is weak, that it wasn't going to turn to a shitstorm. He just got his baby and son in a house. Like, what the fuck happens to them when the shit hits the fan?
Well, I don't think he expects the townspeople of Alexandria to use Carl and or Judith as leverage in any sort of way. So I think that's part arrogance, but also part of just
they're a bunch of wieners.
Yeah, basically being able to gauge this town that they're not going to do nothing even if they had the chance. So, I mean, he's obviously pretty much proven that with they can't even handle a man who's beating on his wife, which we've kind of talked on. We've handled this, back in season 1. We're well past this. So,
I thought the whole trial hearing or whatever you want to call it was a well done, like what everybody said and the way the dialogue was written.
I thought it was really tense. But again, I you could kind of see it coming a mile away, how it was all going to transpire, how it was all going to happen, and that they were kind of left at a standstill until all of a sudden Rick bursts in, and then he's going to give him that extra edge, and then obviously all this, the estranged husband bursting in and totally making his point.
Which it was all very perfect. It was all perfectly timed, and
what a coincidence!
Yeah, very much so. And the fact that Morgan walks in right when he's shooting him dead, like I wonder how Morgan's going to think. Like, oh man, I haven't seen this guy in 3 years, and I just watched him shoot a guy in the head. I don't know the context.
In the Walking Dead Empire, not a lot happens a lot, and then a lot happens all at once.
Yeah,
and there's a couple. And the thing, before we move on a little bit, but the thing that saves Rick is the fact that Carol sets it up perfectly with going into his house and threatening him. And that basically pushes him over the edge to actually come out to the
that scene
little
was
meeting.
cool, man.
Yeah.
All her scenes are really cool and really well
I
delivered.
mean, without that, do you really think he would come out there and try to kill Rick at the meeting?
No, she pushed him. She pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, seeing him walking away from the house too, kind of was the final.
Well,
One
that's
of the
another
other
thing I
final
want to
nails.
say. You know what? Another thing I'd like to point out, that little part right there. Hey, we're gonna separate him. Let's put him right fucking next door to his wife. He can't abuse her from there. I didn't see anybody on lockdown there. Carol walked right in and threatened him with a knife. There's no Michonne guarding him.
Yeah.
Why couldn't he have walked out that door, walked across the lawn, and I don't know. I don't get why he wasn't on lockdown with a guard and the whole deal. That blew me away. Another thing I didn't understand was as picky and set on her ways as like Deandra is, why did they not, when they found the gun on Rick, how come they didn't sit there and check, like, how come they don't keep some sort of inventory on the armory? And why didn't they go and investigate that armory and find out there was 2 other guns missing?
Or how about the fact if he's such a goddamn possible danger and threat to the rest of everybody, do we not restrain him, put him in handcuffs maybe, or even maybe put a guard on him? I mean, obviously you didn't consider him that big of a fucking threat.
Yeah, but who would they have guard
around town?
Who would they have guard him though?
I think it's funny they had Michonne guard him.
You put him in handcuffs. You got a dude with a gun standing outside the door. There ain't really much anybody,
Yeah, I guess you cut him. Yeah.
outside of like Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris is going to be able to do.
Yeah.
Maybe Neo from the Matrix and shit, but I don't know.
But I'm just trying to think. The other little thing that I can point out about this episode that we didn't talk about is just the nods to both Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. There was the machete straight down the skull. Mm-hmm. Did you catch that, Todd?
Yeah, I did.
I know you did. And then there was the Bub, the zombie that was dressed like Bub.
Mm-hmm.
So those were kind of neat. I mean, that was the most blatant inspiration when that machete went down the head like that. I thought that was cool, but
yeah.
You're
forgetting the most heartfelt scene, which is Abraham and Eugene making up.
Oh, I did forget about that. That one's not quite as shitty and hokey as the Rosita in the woods, talking.
No,
Remember that awkward? That was awkward. Like, you guys hadn't brought this up.
Well, there's an actual question there that we've been asking. Are Eugene and Abraham, are they, all of a sudden is everything kosher? Yeah. And we obviously got our answer.
Well, I'm saying that's a little bit.
I thought it was kind of a clever scene the way they did it.
It was a little bit more natural, like I said, than those like cheesy wood scenes. Yeah, it's like you're just bringing this up after 2 years. This is more realistic. Like, they probably haven't. It's been the white elephant in the room for the past month. You never know. It's one of those fucking things where they haven't said a word to each other, and because it seems like that. So it was a pretty cool scene. So I don't have a problem with that, but I don't know. My big thing is it was just big cock tease, man. Nobody fucking died. I liked where it was going. It just didn't actually get there.
There was no reason it should have been an hour and a half.
No, it was an hour and 20 minutes.
Uneventful.
Yeah.
It was an hour and 20 minutes, and you know what? If they were going to sit there and stretch it out that slowly, they should have given us another 30 minutes. Otherwise, they could have.
There's no point to. I mean, they could have cut through everything.
I'm just saying. I wanted to see more of the aftermath of what Rick did, and I mean, I like that scene. I like that whole scene, him throwing the zombie down, and it was very dramatic and all that shit, and somebody left the door open, and Father Gabriel, like I said, conveniently, they caught Father Gabriel on the right day where he's just very uninspired, unmotivated, doesn't give a shit, and I'm just going to barely shut the door. And like you said, the drunk husband comes in. Everything was so precise, man.
If anybody had a goddamn sense of humor on that show, first of all, they would put Gabriel at the tribunal thing, and then when Rick slammed the zombie down, he would have said something like, "Were you born in a goddamn barn?" or something like that. and then punched him in the face and said, "I heard you've been talking shit."
You think the zombies would at least take out a few townspeople, and then it would have got rid of like all that shit.
Well,
with Rick wouldn't have to do anything at that point.
It was just one zombie, and if
there was like five or six, yeah.
I guess you're right.
And how is it that Rick can make his head explode and he gets all that goo all over him in his face, mouth, and eyes? But
I think that was purposely done. I think he kind of wanted that for the dramatic effect.
I understand that, but are we working in the zombie? Is the zombie universe that we're working in it's not transferable through bodily fluids?
Blood in the mouth.
And
the
we've
owl.
brought that up, man. We've brought that up since season 2, The Well, where the zombie was in the well.
They just
he
make,
infected
they just
the water.
make this shit up as they go along.
The fat zombie in the well should have infected all that water. But
Yeah.
no, I thought about that when the gun. What was the point of shooting him? Why was he shoving the gun up into his skulls? Like, was he going to kill him there? But then they know I'm going to dramatic effect. I'm going to blow his brains out too.
I don't think he shot him. I just thought he squeezed his head until it blew up.
Yeah. He pretty much shoved it up his head until it.
I heard the shot.
I don't remember. Maybe it did.
I don't think
Rocky, you can confirm that for us.
Yeah, Robert Rocklin, he catches everything, and I hate to say it, his predictions are a lot of times are very, very spot on. So he'll catch anything we don't. I think on the last episode he did.
Does he read the comics though?
I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I don't think he does actually.
Yeah, let us know, Rockula.
Yeah, it shouldn't count if you do. I'll give you credit where credit's due if you don't, but
I'll say on this last episode we got a little more credit from him. I think he called us out on one little thing that we got wrong, and I think that was that Daryl's not replacing Aaron; he's replacing his boyfriend, because we kept saying we did get that flubbed, but whatever. But I think he said everything else we got pretty right. That was like the first time ever, because he usually gives us this giant rundown and he calls us out on so much.
Whatever, nerd. Shut up.
You can see the vibe with Daryl and Aaron. They're kind of smitten with each other right now.
It's really weird. That whole car scene really kind of.
It is kind of a bromance they got working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't say it's a gay thing. It might just be a bromance, but it was kind of weird, like a Thelma and Louise thing. We're going together in this car. I'm going out with you and you only. And just some of the tension is really odd, man. I hope. I hope his boyfriend doesn't die, and then Daryl isn't the arms that covet him and comfort him.
We finger popping each other's assholes.
I don't think though. I don't think they'd go that way. All of a sudden, there's this unrequited forbidden love that Daryl has, and he doesn't even realize it. That'd just be. I don't think that they would do that with that character.
I don't think they're going to do it either. But perhaps it's just another layer for Daryl, because he grew up with Merle, this racist bigot, hardened, and his whole series he's been sort of separating himself from his stereotype and the way his brother was and growing, and him being good friends and open with somebody that's like a homosexual who Merle probably wouldn't have fucking stood for, is just him developing a little more as a human.
I think Aaron just likes hairy bear men.
Who's hairy and who's bear?
Yeah, he's a bear. Don't they call this?
Oh, you're talking about me, and you're talking about him.
No, I'm talking about him. But
okay, I'm getting confused. We need to set it.
Doesn't Daryl have a lot of hair on his chest?
No, he's clean. He's a fucking model. He doesn't have hair in his chest.
Look at his hair. He's got texture in his hair. Where the fuck how do you do your hair like that? Aaron's boyfriend's cutting it for him. That's where it's getting done at.
Oh,
man. Okay, so.
That's not a homophobic joke, people. That's just a joke about the fact that
you're racist, Pat. You're racist.
I know. I'm just racist towards gay people. So,
yeah. All right. Predictions for the next the season premiere. We got ourselves a nice big break.
Who knows? Do we think they're going to do a big gap in time, and that we're settled now with Morgan and?
Ooh, that's actually probably, that might be what it is, because we really didn't leave off. Well, we left off with them finding the photos, the wolves. So maybe not like a big gap in time, but I could see it being like.
Well, we know that the wolves aren't too far away from the camp. If obviously Glenn, Aaron, and Morgan were able to make it back there from that supermarket
in 10 minutes.
What was the deal with
50 miles in 10 minutes? That's pretty. That's a record.
What was the deal with the gentleman in the red slicker or whatever that was that they were following, and then they used him as bait?
Well, it was just something that
they used
him as bait.
No, I think it was just some schlub.
And I thought the wolves kind of caught up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I don't know. I mean, they had him, and I thought they were bringing him into that gate for some. Yeah, they didn't use him as bait. They slit his throat, and they used the music, the fucking Cher music or whatever, to draw the zombies into the trucks. I don't know.
Well, that's what they used them to reset the traps, because Daryl and Aaron had sprung the traps on themselves, and then they narrowly escaped, obviously through with Morgan's help. Well, they were trying to follow that guy in the red poncho to possibly see if he'd be a good candidate to meet up, and then it would appear as such that the wolves caught up with him, and instead of going through the trouble of, I don't know if they were taking him to be eaten by the traps or maybe add to the traps, but I think they saw I think they were possibly maybe taking it to add to the traps, just
just another zombie,
another zombie to be in there, and then possibly then they noticed that it was sprung, so then they're just like, fuck, well, we got to kill this guy because we got to deal with this other bullshit.
So if they're just using those zombies in the trucks for as a tool or a device or an attack weapon, what's the purpose of the zombies that were delimbed and on hooks in the truck? Just for scare factor?
I don't know.
Because they can't fucking do anything.
Or maybe it gets the other ones all riled up.
Well, I don't know. I don't really understand that.
Maybe it's something to do with molesting the zombies. I don't know.
That would be weird. Eventually over time,
because we have a bunch of gore porn freaks who have to say "ooh, cool" when they see something horribly mutilated on the show.
That's what I thought they did with the girl in the tree that was tied up. I thought they were taking their turns on her.
I don't know. In TV shows and in films and stuff like this, it's like, oh yeah, cool zombies, but I don't see how people could find that attractive. Because I'm telling you boys right now, I Googled last night gangrene foot, and I saw some nasty ass shit, and it made my stomach turn worse than any episode of The Walking Dead could. I mean, it was like the real stuff. So it feels like bones sticking out of their feet, protruding, black toes, and deformed. I'm like, this is disgusting. This is fucking gross. I don't want to have sex with that foot or any foot.
You want those toes up your ass? We know you do.
Yeah, gross, man. It'd be like fucking a leper and stuff. Nose fall off.
But anyway, I just hope the first episode of this new season delivers what this one should have. I just want to see
it will.
Honestly, are you looking forward to the next season after this final episode?
No, I love decompressing from it and just not thinking about The Walking Dead. After all, we get to sit there, and now we got a few months to marinate on the brand new spinoff, which they announced is titled Fear the Walking Dead. How gay is that? Way to separate yourselves from your hit show. At least Cobalt kind of raised your eyebrow. Like, okay, what's this going to be about? We're going to find out the context of that title within the show. Fear the Walking Dead.
Welcome to the Fear the Walking Dead podcast, episode 5.
I just don't understand. Like, oh yeah, I can't wait for. Did you catch Walking Dead this week? Oh man, I can't wait for Fear the Walking Dead in 2 weeks.
That's going to confuse this. That's going to confuse the shit out of people for the Fear the Talking Dead.
I just don't think. And there's a lot of people that would normally, if it wasn't for The Walking Dead, people would abbreviate it. Like, oh, yeah, I'm watching Walking Dead this week. Oh, I'm watching Walking Dead. Fear the Walking Dead, not The Walking Dead. Oh, I know what you meant. Okay, bro. It's totally stupid. This is like Jeff Tate's Queen's Reich type of shit. Like, quit two versions of the same band.
Jack Russell's Great White.
No, they're both shit Great White. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
They said one burns down clubs.
And we're gonna have more of these so-called Walking Dead actors taking over conventions. By the way, did you hear about Tara? She's charging like $60 an autograph at conventions.
That's a load of bullshit.
What?
Yes. $60 an autograph.
Are you fucking serious?
No.
Like, do I get a picture with your brother too?
What?
Fucking the 70s show?
I better get a nude from you for $60. Jesus.
I mean, they got agents that are like, capitalize on this because you're not going to be able to charge $60 as soon as you're dead.
$60 fucking dollars. Or you're not going to be able to charge $60 for this autograph once that clock hits 15 minutes of your fucking fame.
No,
Jesus Christ. Name one thing you're ever going to see her again in after this fucking show where you don't go, oh yeah, hey, that was Tara from The Walking Dead.
I mean, for shame on those people. I get it. It's a business.
That's a fucking racket. I can see Norman Reedus charging upwards of like 100 and stuff like that.
He probably does.
But he charges retarded amounts.
Yeah.
That's still a dick move. And I understand it. Charge as much money as people are willing to pay for. Whatever. It is what it is. But at the same time, Tara, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I know.
It's for shame. I mean, I think it's shameful, man. I would never do it. Norman Reedus,
You are exploiting those poor nerds and their parents' money.
Oh, gotta have that Tara autograph.
Yeah, so
because you have to have the entire collection.
No, not me, man. Not me.
Why not? You gotta have what was that guy who died in season 1 where they just left him to kill himself on the side of the road?
Yeah.
Who's gonna die anyways?
T-Dog? No.
No, it wasn't T-Dog. T-Dog, they did that too, but I think it was the first season they left some guy on the side of the road.
I think they're. Oh yeah, that guy. That one. I thought about that guy actually. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. I thought about him today. The one guy they never developed on further because it
Yeah.
made me think. It made me think of the guy with the poncho. Like, who is this guy? We'll never know. He's just some random dude. Kind of like that one.
What's Carol's husband charging for fucking autographs at the?
Never did him.
I-
Dude, they milked this stuff, and they're gonna. I think they milked the action figures too. I literally think you can buy a fat Tyrese and a skinny Tyrese.
What
You know?
was Herschel? Herschel is charging like $40.
Season 3, season 5.
Versions, yeah, of the same fucking toy.
And
Herschel,
Tyrese be eating good.
Herschel is charging like $40, and she's charging like $60.
Oh, can you imagine a talking Tyrese action figure, the fat one? Pass the mashed potatoes. Give me
I'd be making people fall asleep and shit with boring, long soliloquies. Like, shut up, Tyrese.
What does he think? He's the kid from Hook or something? I remember my mother. All his fucking sentiments.
God.
I don't want to hear it anymore. Unless
Peter,
you're-
is that you in there?
It is you, Peter. Whatever. We're getting carried away here, but the show's over. We got a nice big break. Didn't exactly. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't without its good points. Carol was a great point. We mentioned that. I did like the ending scene as kind of weird and predictable and just perfect. It all was. I liked the whole thing with Rick. I did like how the husband got his throat slit. That was kind of cool. And it was Deanna didn't quite act the way I thought she would have. Honestly, I didn't know if she was going to get even more pissed at Rick. She could have easily blamed him even more for that action, for
just even bringing that air into the situation.
yeah, exactly. But so I was actually surprised for her just to go do it. And you know what? That was kind of cool. I like him kind of off screen, and he just blew him away, and that was it. I am curious to see how the wife is going to treat Rick after this, because that is still her husband.
How about the son?
The son too. No one's thinking about the kid. That is her husband, and even though she was kind of toying with him, saying yes, I would not say, basically when in the house, when she was kind of toying with him and entertaining him, it's still her husband. He killed her right in front of her.
Yeah, but she told him.
How could you? I know, but that was caught up in a weird moment, but then he actually does it in front of her. I'm sorry, man. How could you love a guy that you witnessed, that you remember killing your husband, the father of your kid? I'd think it'd be a little unrealistic if she just kind of ate out of his hand from here on out. I'd totally.
Yeah. All of a sudden, like I said, they the start of the next season here, where we've had a passage of time, and they're just moved in together, making house, and she's pregnant.
I mean,
she's pregnant, and
there's a lot of therapy that needs to be done there, especially with the kid. Okay, let's say in a perfect world they moved in, they got married, and I get it. The Walking Dead universe things
now they're having parties where Rick's telling Rectum damn near killed him jokes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they'll get Carol to tie that kid to a fucking tree.
Well, I just don't. Even if, like they said, they did move in together, dude, you got a lot of fucking work to do with that kid. Your new stepdad killed your dad, and who knows if that ever comes out? Yeah, now that we're all being all honest with each other and it's all coming out, Carol tried to tie me to a fucking tree.
Well, and they better be able to find a 4-bedroom house in that subdivision. Otherwise, they're just going to have to pack up and move the entire fucking thing.
I don't know. I think this new chick, she could go either way. They could actually just kill her off.
I don't know. I think her, Aaron, and there's another one, can't remember, but they're setting them up to be
the son. The son is still alive.
Yeah, maybe Deanna even. Have them be extended characters that will extend into the 7th season, if not all the way to the season 7 finale.
I could see it. I could see it going either way. I mean, but on the other hand, to keep her alive would create a lot of drama for them to play off of and stretch over the season.
I don't know. We kind of thought that having Abraham around was going to create this big, almost collision. Yeah, between him and Rick. They could. It seems like they're pretty well versed at being able to make those strong characters kind of almost just fall in line or kind of take a step back into the background a little bit. So.
I don't know. Okay, boys, what did I give last week's episode? And
Like a 13 to the fourth power.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know I gave 2 episodes ago a 9. I gave 2 episodes ago a 9, and I gave this one a 7 or 8. The last one, I think.
I think it was an 8.
You gave it
An
8
8?
or 9, yeah.
You know what? If this was just a regular episode, I'd give it an 8 too. But since it was a finale and it wasn't good on a finale, I would say I'd give it a 7. Just because it was a finale, it wasn't very good. Okay, fine. I'll give it a 6 because it was a finale. But if it was a normal episode, I would give it an 8 easy. But it has more expectations. 6. I'm not budging.
All right.
I'm budging. Pat.
I'll go with a 6 on this too. It was surprisingly predictable. You could see it come a mile away. That's not to say I wasn't entertained, but as far as season finales go, again, we just kind of expect better.
Nobody died. Not one fucking big person died at all. I'm tired.
Well, and I even, it's nice that Glenn and everything is not willing to kill that guy out there, but isn't that the whole point, is for Glenn to kill that guy out there? Because that guy was going to kill Glenn. So
he might try again. That's the second time he spared his life.
Fooled me twice. Shame on me, I guess. Derp.
So hopefully he does get him. Hopefully that's how Glenn goes out, because he's an idiot and he's not taking the school of Rick into account here. You know, he's being too merciful, and hopefully it bites him.
I just think, we got a lot of light shed on some things. We had some interesting scenes, but again, the stuff with the priest and Sasha and Maggie, it just seemed kind of useless ever since I obviously I've aired my grievances with it, so I really won't continue to elaborate, but I just expected better, and we didn't get it, so I'm sticking with a 6.
And mine, I am going to kind of break it up into 2 different scores. As a standalone episode, I would give it probably a 7, just because they did have 2 deaths at the end of the episode, even though they were kind of, like we were saying, minuscule deaths were people we didn't really give a fuck about.
Yeah,
but
as a regular solid. Yeah.
But there were still deaths, and we obviously talked about this, I think, last week. I think Pat said that the guy's going to die. The guy who beat his wife, he's going to die in this episode. He called that. So I'll give him props on that. But overall, as a season finale, I would probably give it a 5. I mean, it wasn't a bad episode. It was a bore at times. It shouldn't have been an hour and a half. Let's just say that. I think they could have cut everything down. They could have moved along, this Rick trial or whatever into, 15, 20 minutes, and they could have had the Daryl thing for 10 minutes, and they could have moved it along a lot faster and made it a better episode, I think. Mm-hmm. And have the zombies maybe come around and kill some of the town folks to actually show how big of a threat they actually are, and that could have been another reason for them to actually back Rick. So, yeah, I would give it probably a 5 out of 10.
Mm. Well, on the plus side, this episode did help me conquer my insomnia. Whatever. It is all right. Let us know. I do want to thank Rockula. We weren't taking the piss out on you. I actually enjoy when he breaks down every podcast every week, because he does make me think, and it always helps me sort of look at the following episode in a little bit of a different light. So I'm actually curious, Rockula, what you have to say about this one. And just your overall opinion. But other than that, let us know what your guys' opinion are on btmreview.com, the Facebook, BTM Review, and at BTM Presents, and iTunes and YouTube. We like hearing all that stuff. And see you guys in, when does it pick back up?
October? Thank God we have a break.
Not far enough.
Yes.
I'm just kidding. We come off like such haters, man. But
well,
yeah,
we got Fear the Walking Dead to look forward to. So be on the lookout for be on the lookout for another podcast. People.
Yeah, let us know if you guys
don't.
If you guys want to audition for this or this Fear the Walking Dead podcast, let me know. Hit us up at btmreview.com so we don't have to fucking do it.
And you know what? You'll have to sign a lifetime contract for the duration of the show.
Yeah.
See, that is actually a very good point. Even if it was made in sort of a joke, if there's anybody out there that would like to cover not just like Fear the Walking Dead, but any of these other shows that are on TV, we're definitely open to that, because there's a lot of stuff we'd like to cover. And for example, we're tied down with The Walking Dead. Believe me, we wish we weren't. And we can't stretch ourselves thinner to do maybe some of these. We can't talk about Better Call Saul necessarily. We don't have enough manpower.
American Horror Story or any of those.
Anybody want to talk some Mad Men? Hit me up. Game of Thrones too.
Anything else? So there is definitely a contact section on our website, btmreview.com. Hit that up. If you think you got a voice and you got a good opinion, we all know you're assholes with opinions. We are too.
Yep.
If you just want to contribute on the website in written form, or if you want to do podcasting and have that lead to interviewing and other shit like that, yeah, feel free to hit us up. We're definitely open to all that. So that's all we got for now, folks. We'll see you on the convention circuit. Not paying $60 an autograph for C players.
I don't have that much money.
Man, stupid. I'm not that desperate.
For Tara, it's worth it.
How much is it to get zombie number 7 to tattoo to
At least
sign
20.
something?
At least 20, I'm sure.
Fuck.
I know. The bicycle zombie was charging like 25.
Get the fuck out of
No,
here.
No.
How
what
much?
what about the very first zombie like Rick encounters at like half of a woman or whatever?
That's it. That's the bicycle. Zombie.
Oh,
That's what I'm
my
talking
God.
Oh my
25.
god, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Is Rosita charging $60?
I
Is
don't know.
Rosita?
I don't know if
is,
she's doing the convention circuit yet.
is she gonna use those DSLs at least for that price?
She's hanging out on the street corner making more money, I guess.
No, that's horrible. We better. Okay, we're running this long and we're getting offensive. Everybody, peace out. I'm Aaron.
Riverman.
Pat.
Later, guys.
Good night, Canada.